the most one-eyed podcast.
It's what we're here to do. There is only one side in this competition. It's game-changing.
It's absolutely game-changing, Deeble.
Riddle me that, mate.
Yeah, riddle me that, Deeble. Do you remember?
It's what we're here to do.
This is True Bloods, the number one independent Sydney Swans fan podcast in the home studio today to review the heartbreaking loss in Adelaide, preview the game everything's been building towards against the Roos and everything else about us Swannies girls. I am joined, as always, by the man who did see one of his teams win this weekend. It's Alex Donnelly. Alex, how's it going?
Oh, yeah. It's been a stressful, 27 hours?
Yeah.
Obviously, the Swans result didn't go our way yesterday, but then waking up at 5 a.m. this morning to watch my beloved Arsenal play. For all those who don't know anything about EPL, Arsenal were down 1-0 at Newcastle. That's like going away to Collingwood. We hate Newcastle. They're just dirty. They're gross. Their stadium's gross. Their people are gross. And we were down 1-0 in the 86th minute, and we ended up winning 2-1, and I lost my little mind. So, great day.
It was very fun waking up to the tweets from you and my friend Joe, you're both big Arsenal boys, and it was just like, oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah, watching that was like watching Collingwood fan TV, the commentary cheering on the other team when there was some umpiring that was almost as bad as in our game yesterday. So it was a great time.
Good segue, Alex.
I had a great time.
So, unfortunately, we did go down to the Crows by 2 points in what I think Alex and I are calling the game of the season. Not so much for how we played, but just if you were a neutral, that would have been a phenomenal game to watch. Unfortunately, we are not neutrals, and we had to sit through some of the worst umpiring I've seen in a very long time.
Uneven umpiring is how I call it. It wasn't terrible. It's the fact that it lent one way, and it's a thing that we'll talk about throughout the year of it being, having umpires based in one location. There's probably a little bit of inherent bias without it being meaningful.
Yes.
Similar in the EPL. Anyone that lives north of the country in England gets refereeing, goes their way. If you're in London, you're cooked. But yeah, we'll talk about that. But the game itself, this is an advertisement for AFLW. Yes, people go, oh, the scoring was low.
It wasn't even that low, though.
you have 80 points. You have some of the best contested footy I've ever seen. I've just finished watching the last quarter again, and the notes I've just sent to Polly all the way through gone, this last quarter, there was about a 2-minute stretch but just before we kicked our last goal where everyone was cracking in, but the possession was clean. The pressure was off its head. It was great football, and this is where we want to see this game going because 5 years ago, we wouldn't have had this. It wasn't as good as Hawthorn and Geelong last year. It's clearly the game of the season this year. And yes, we are biased, but I believe the Swans have played in the two best games of the season this year. This and the game against Geelong at Goomba.
Yeah, I guess the first point we should touch on is what an insane bounce back. We have seen not this team for the past 2 weeks, and this really stuck out to me. We were talking about it last week. I think that really was a mental thing going into both those games and then coming into this game. They ticked both the Giants and the Collingwood game off as easy wins and did not come in mentally prepared for that, but they came in mentally prepared to play against Adelaide, and they nearly pipped them. And look, there was a few things that could have been better. There were a few players that could have tightened up some skills, but for the most part, we were in that game just as much as they were the entire time. And I would even say the benchmark of all of our players were better than the benchmark of theirs. They just had a couple more stars stand out, like Neve Kelly, who, if she didn't play, we win by 20 points. But it was just so incredible to see. This is the team that we have been hyped up in the first 4 weeks, and most people were like, oh, they're not as good as we thought. No, they are just as good as we thought. They can bring it to the big teams. They're just a bit shit against the shit teams.
Yeah, I suppose it's a thing. They came out of the gates so well that there was inevitably going to be a flat spot in the season. And unfortunately, we put in the two worst performances that we will put in all season. I'm sure of that. But from the first bounce of the footy, I think I text you and Deebs about 5 minutes in going, oh, this is different. We're on it today. And I said it on socials, and there was a clear edict during the week and a clear work ethic throughout the week that defensive accountability and pressure was going to be the aim of the game because we were everywhere. Like, I'll get to it straight away. Everyone except for Pol Alexi, who had probably the best game of her life, laid a tackle yesterday. The tackling pressure was simply insane from our players. Like you look at Amelia Martin
Yeah.
and Holly Cooper, they've had 7 possessions between them. They've laid 10 tackles.
Yeah. It's crazy when you compare that to last week in particular against the Giants, where it felt like anytime we got the ball out even a little bit, we were immediately getting tackled. We have learnt from what other teams were doing to us and doing it to the good teams. And didn't really pay off in our favor a lot of the time, unfortunately, in the way that the rules are written when you lay a tackle. But to see the pressure increase and for it to actually work, and if we got paid, we probably would have won by a bit more if things had gone our way. But I love it when you can see the game plan change and it actually works. And so then you now know they're going to keep running with this. It's not going to be oh, we tried it, it didn't work. Let's go back to what we've been doing for the past 3 weeks. No, you can clearly see this game style has worked for us and it's made good, entertaining footy, which we know Scotty is a very big proponent of. And it's led to probably the best game of the season.
Yeah, and you just sort of look at it like we took 64 marks, which is up on our seasonal average. Obviously, last week we took next to none. We allowed 17, 18 marks inside 50 against the Giants. And I lost my shit last week about that. And safe to say, I think behind the scenes at the Swans they did too, because
Yeah.
they only allowed 5 for Adelaide during this game. One of them was a one-on-one. The only one I was really annoyed at was Jones took a one-on-one mark in the start of the last quarter in the goal square, and Jazz Grierson probably should have gone the punch rather than trying to outmark Jones. Jones had front position. But other than that, there wasn't any of those little chippy little kicks to 30, 35 meters out. Like the marks that Adelaide took were good marks. So I'm not disappointed in any aspect of the game. The only thing I'm annoyed about is the result. The funniest thing is I think this is the most, aside from the Geelong game, because that coming back from, 3-4 goals down and getting the run on and then holding on, this is probably the most proud I've been at this team ever. I don't think I've seen them crack in harder, throw themselves at every contest, and just try to will themselves through against this Adelaide team. There's been 3 teams that have been dominant for the 10 years, and Adelaide
Yes.
is one of them.
Yeah, there's
Like,
a reason it was Mariners' 100th game, and
Yeah.
only them in Brisbane have played 100 games
Yeah, it's
as a
insane.
club.
Ebony
Like,
Marinoff has never missed a game. The
Yeah.
funny thing is, Starcevic, who coaches the Brisbane Lions, has missed 1 game, so he's
That's
coaching
really
his
funny.
100th game this weekend. Yeah,
But Ali Anderson got hers the week before. That's pretty
yeah,
funny.
it's really funny. But yeah, everything that they've worked on through the season worked, and to get a scout like Adelaide, they deserved it, and they would be
Yeah.
so flat today.
And I think the positive though that you can take away from that is there isn't really much you can point to that went wrong. They just got unlucky. There was yeah, maybe a gets paid off. Yeah, maybe you catch this mark. But those are little things that aren't going to make you feel like you didn't do the right thing. I don't think they go, if I was on that team, I don't think I'd be going away from that game feeling, what's the word? Oh, it would be a very different kind of loss within the club than the previous week. The previous
Yeah.
week we saw there was so much structural change within that team, and we can get into that in a minute. I think there was about 4 or 5 changes between last week and this week. And the way that this week going into playing the Roos, I think will be a very different environment within the club than what they would have seen in this week coming into the Crows game.
They'll be walking into HQ tomorrow, as I assume they had a day off today just to do some recovery. They'll be walking in tomorrow going, yeah, we can take it up to North Melbourne. Because also, if you watch North Melbourne play on Friday afternoon, which is also annoying that they get a 10-day break and we get a week's break, but anyway, not the point. There are cracks
It's
in
not
North
even
Melbourne.
a week's break.
It's going to be a very, very small, minuscule crack, and the Swans are going to have to dead set take a jackhammer to it.
Yeah.
But there is something there that then there's it's like in if anyone's seen Star Wars where they blow up the Death Star, there is the like one in one.
Everyone's getting closer. Everyone will cover them more
Yeah.
in the preview, but everyone's getting a little bit closer every week to
There
cracking
is
that
a
Death Star.
there is a 1 in 1 billion chance you can blow up the Death Star. Like obviously a few things have to go wrong, and I'm not saying that North Melbourne are evil anyway. I actually really enjoy North Melbourne. I know a lot of people from the club and they're lovely, but dear God, stop winning. Honestly, you can just stop for 1 week.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that later. But there is a crack there, and
Yeah.
there is
So
there is
I
a
want to
way
quickly
that the
talk.
Swans can win.
Yes. Going back to the Crows game, I do want to quickly talk about the week leading up because a lot happened between the last time we recorded and since recording now and the actual
Yes.
game happening. Soph was confirmed to be out for another 1 to 2 weeks. We could
Yeah.
potentially see her next, Sophia Hurley, sorry. We could potentially see her next week, but probably not. I don't think she'll be back till Carlton now. Ali Morfitt went down.
Huh.
We still don't really know why. And we're recording this on Monday, Faithful, so we haven't seen the injury report yet.
Work commitments, my bad.
Yeah, look, you guys we record when we can record, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a busy time. It's a busy time of year for me. I
Yes.
apologize.
And so she had been confirmed as an out in the Thursday extended squad. We were hearing that Holly Cooper was going to be omitted, and then also Van Loon was definitely omitted. Then when the Friday teams came out, Holly Cooper was back in the team, but Ruby Sargent Wilson had been listed as injured. Well, again, we don't know what the injury is. She had just been listed as injured. So
Was it a calf for her or was it a calf for
yeah,
Ali? Someone
I'm
had a
not
calf.
sure.
The baby cows were screaming.
Yeah. So we were down Sophia Hurley, Ali Morfitt, Ash Van Loon, Ruby Sargent Wilson from the previous week. So then we had Reed come back into the team, Caitlin Reed, Beck Privatelli come back into the team, and we saw Sarah Still Park debut.
Not Parker, Park.
Not just Park. And so you look at the two teams and you go, wow, that is a significant change. And most of those have force changed. I think if Ruby Sargent Wilson didn't get injured, Sarah Still Park doesn't debut.
Yeah.
Because she was pretty good last week. Or Holly Cooper would have been omitted and Sarah Still Park did debut. I think that they wanted to omit Holly, but then they couldn't because they were down a short.
We needed a forward.
Yeah. But then also the structural changes we've made to the way we actually structured around the ball. Let's get into it. Alex, I'm going to give you the floor here because this is, but what we've been calling for has paid off. And so I'll let you talk about it.
Like I know I'm looking at the lineups there. I know Zippy Fish was named on the wing, but she played halfback. So I think Scotty Ghost won Scotty Gowans and the crew there are like, yeah, we're gonna keep Zippy Fish on the wing, on the halfback flank forever until we throw her in the midfield. Because back to her best with 17 touches. I think she had some ridiculous amount in the last quarter. I think she had 9 or 10 in the last quarter, lifted into the game. I called for Lucy McAvoy to go to the halfback to be that calming influence down back. And my God, was she with six marks. She was on the footy all day, linking up through defensive chain, had 17 touches, about 400 meters gained. Like she was brilliant. And against North Melbourne this week and going forward to that's where I wanted to be because I also think that's where she plays her best footy because she can also sneak forward like she did in the last quarter and pop up and either set up a goal or hopefully kick a goal. Like, geez, Lewis, we're really waiting for you to do that since you called that you want to kick goal of the year. We love you dearly. We want you to do it. And Zippy as well because she can take that mark right on the top of the D50 and just take off. Like, I've never seen an 18-year-old woman be so calm under pressure when players like Ebony Marinoff and Anne Hatchard are bearing down on you. And she's just like, oh yeah, see ya. And just takes off. It is just so insane to watch that she's just got the calmness and presence of mind to use the right option when she's got the footy in hand too. I think that's the thing. Player off half back, just give her the footy at all opportunity.
That's exactly right. And I just want to quickly touch on Luce. Faithful, am happy to admit when I was wrong. I know in the season preview, I said I wanted Luce to be able to go through the middle. No, I need her to stay in defense or on half back. Alex talking about all those marks we took in our defensive 50. That was all Lucy McAvoy. There was a few that wasn't, and Alice Mitchell. There were a few that weren't, but the majority of them were Lucy McAvoy. And I'm just like, you know what? I was wrong. Keep her down there. It works. Is the reason she was moved down there when she came to Sydney because originally she was a forward at Carlton. So, just fantastic game from her. Probably the best she's played all season, and she's had some really good games so far. So she's building up to a phenomenal season. Very much going under the radar, not really getting votes or anything, but really cracking in and always having a go. Let's talk about two players who definitely played the best games of their career. Alexia Hamilton and Caitlin Reid.
Shout out to Lexi.
Shout out to Lexi.
She
Alex
was
and I at the
great.
same time message each other. Lexi's having a great game. Like, I'm talking the exact same time because she has this weird innate nature about her that when Ali goes down, she plays some of her best footy, and she did that in this game. She was fantastic.
Yeah. Like she got beaten in the ruck by Allen, but in fairness, most players are going to get beaten by Allen in the ruck
Yeah.
because she's so tall. But what she did was around the ground, just worked her backside off all afternoon. Like takes 4 marks, but gets 16 touches. She had 11 at halftime, and like I jokingly said, I don't think she's had like more than 11 touches in a game ever. I know she has, but she was everywhere. Ends up with 16 and a goal. But just her movement around the field throughout the day was brilliant. And Caitlin Reid, like she played well as well. Like so, it's gonna get to a point where at the end of the year, like all due respect to Caitlin, she's third in line.
Mm.
Does she, unless this is a game that goes to 18 versus 18 and we can play the three talls, Caitlin Reid might be like, oh, I might
Why
look at
sticking
my
around?
options.
Yeah.
And in fairness, if anyone wants to leave because they're going to get guaranteed game time at this stage of the AFLW, I am all for it. And
Yeah,
I'm all for
100%.
all for them, all for the girls playing more footy as much as they can, as often as they can, because the careers are so short and the seasons are so short. But she
Yeah.
was great. Like
Oh, yeah.
it was to the point where this sounds bad, but it's not. You didn't notice that it was her because you're like, oh yeah,
Yes.
oh shit, that's Caitlin.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. A lot of
but
times in the first quarter in particular, her first quarter was particularly really good. Dad was sitting behind me half watching the game and had said to me, "Who's 13?"
yeah,
And like like and Dad has watched most of the games this season, so he knows most of the players, but obviously Caitlin Reid has not played every game. And so she was doing enough to stick out to him. So that shows that she was doing her job, and she was I was really impressed to see her because again she was drafted this year. She's also
yeah,
18, and to be playing, and for a ruck it usually takes a while to come into the fold,
yeah.
and so to see her already kind of getting her games in there and working up, it's really exciting. She's going to go far. Now,
Caitlin's 28, by the way. She's not 18. She's 28.
is she really?
Yeah, she's just an older player.
Oh, okay. I thought the only mature draftee we got was Sarah Steele Park.
No, no, no. I think she's like East Coast Eagles or like
Okay.
one of the
Well,
teams
then
down
there you
there.
go. Yeah, I understand more now as well if she did move on because she is in the mature ages of her career.
Yeah,
But I think we'd be remiss if we don't talk about her at this point. Laura Gardner.
the easiest, not the easiest three-vote game you'll see all year. Ellie Blackburn had that on Friday night.
Yeah.
But yeah, a three-vote game for sure. Like, I know she got 9 votes in the coaches award. I understand that. It's fair. If you're the Adelaide coach and you're giving Neve Kelly your 5 votes, get
Yes.
it. And you're Scotty,
Yes.
you're giving Laura 5. I understand that completely.
Yes.
But if you're an umpire and you're looking at the game, it's like, okay, I know they don't look at stats because we know that from the Brownlow last week, but Laura Gardner was everywhere. She had an average game last week against the Giants, bounced back as superstars do, and we need to be treating her as such. If she was playing in Melbourne or Adelaide, for example, the media would be all over her,
Oh,
calling her
yeah.
one of the superstars of the competition. The way that they treat an Ebony Marinoff, a Jazz Garner, a Riddell, a Bonnie Toogood, who's just so out of form at the moment. Anyway, it's not the point. 37 disposals, 15 tackles. That's a career high. These are Ebony
Yeah.
Marinoff numbers last year, where she won the best and fairest in the competition. Probably should have had a shot on goal in the last quarter and kicked her second goal because she got pushed in the back straight into someone's like oncoming traffic and got cleaned up, but bounced back up. She was phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that this woman can still find different levels to go to is scary.
She did
Like,
this against Adelaide. Let's also point out this.
yeah,
This isn't beating up on Gold Coast or
no.
Richmond. She's done it against
I,
probably the second best team in the competition. She's
at the current point, yeah, I'd say so.
torn Ebony Marinoff a new one.
Like, I just can't, like, we are so lucky, and the fact we got her for next to nothing as well, because Geelong didn't know what they had and they didn't underutilized her. But and also I think she fits into our structure much better. I'm not going to knock Geelong for letting her go, but like I just can't. But like you watch the game and you're just like, how are you still finding new ways to improve? Because I
Yeah.
thought you had hit the peak and you still are finding new ways to take it to another level. And we are so blessed to have her in our team. And the way we are talking about this game, I'm realizing it does sound like we won. We did only lose by 2 points, and there really isn't that much bad stuff to bring up.
Yeah. It's I just yeah. The funny thing is she's probably gonna get 40 this weekend and just run head to head with Ash Riddell all day, which is gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, that's gonna be a true fight for who gets three, who gets two, and Ash will probably get the three because they'll win the game.
Will they give votes to
They'll
Ash?
probably win the
They,
game.
they they don't give votes to Jazz Garner, they give them to Ash. But I
Yes.
also thought she only had, I say only, I didn't realize she had 23 disposals. I thought this was one of Montana Ham's better games as well. I think against Richmond in round one was probably her best
Yeah.
game. But this was great because she was breaking lines again. She was taking the game on. She was strong in the contest. Holly Cooper stopped another goal of the year opportunity for Sydney, probably what would that been our fifth one in 7 games. But Holly made sure of it, tried to stuff it up, but made
Yeah,
sure of it.
my heart was in my throat when before they confirmed it was a goal.
God bless you, Holly. You kicked the goal. That's all that matters at the end of the day. I don't care how you get them in. If you Blake shin them through, I am happy. But yeah, she breaking 17 kicks. If she's having 25 disposals, I want 18 plus kicks. I don't want her handballing it unless it's a run and carry chain like
Yep.
she did when she kicked the goal against Collingwood. I want her
Yep.
kicking the footy because she's got a penetrating kick and giving our forwards like Chloe, Priv, even Holly Cooper and Darcy Maloney a chance is the best way forward because
Yeah.
her speed on the ball, her and Zippy's, is what sets us apart because we kicked 5 goals from defensive chains to 1 goal yesterday. So that was a seasonal high for us. So going from our defense into our attack, we kicked 5 of our 6 goals that way. And that's the way that we set up and play our game is to rebound and really catch teams out. If you notice, we didn't have a lot of set shot goals. We have a lot of Joe the Goose out the back because we moved the footy so quickly.
And
And
one of the few set shot goals we had hit the post. So
And our good close personal friend Chloe will be absolutely beating herself up on that.
Chloe, you can blame my dad for that. Before that, when Laura kicked her goal, he's like, "There's no way she's making this." Kick the goal. Chloe sets shot. She's got this. Hits the post. I was like, "You need to leave. You need to stop talking."
Father Porridge, I hope your porridge is really cold.
There wasn't the father. Anyway, that's
Oh no, I'm just making a porridge gag. Like,
no. I was. Then my head went to Three Bears.
yeah, no, that's what it is. That's why I want
Yeah,
his
yeah.
porridge to be
I was like,
cold.
wasn't
Yeah,
his hot porridge too hot?
yeah, but his can be cold. Like, I don't want
Yeah.
someone having theirs too hot. It has a chance to cool down. No, it's
And
gonna
I
be
don't
cold.
know if you saw, but last week you did invite Chloe to the party, and you said you wanted her to have 15 and 3. She had 17 and 2 and a 2.1.
I was literally like 6 inches away.
It
Like
was
a lot
like
of men, I was 6 inches away. And I've broken Polly with that one. I need to mention, while Polly is just deceasing for all those watching on the YouTube, make sure you do get on the YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe to the True Bloods YouTube as well, because you get to see great content like this where I get to break people. You see me drinking a lot of water. I'm already through one bottle. I'm like Dwayne Russell before games, but I just drink water.
with not with
Anyway,
milk.
yeah, milk and chocolate. Like that dude eats about 6,000 calories per football game. Alice Mitchell, she is someone who we don't give a lot of recognition to. But I was talking to someone very high up in AFL media world over the weekend. Someone who may or may not, I think, yeah, they have. They have been on the All Australian selection panel in the past. And we were talking, and I was like, am I crazy to think that Alice Mitchell's in contention for the squad? And this person was like, I was about to message you the exact same thing. Because anytime that you look up when the ball is going into our defensive 50, you just look up, there's Alice Mitchell with her little thing around her knee and her black boots and just her loping, lanky left boot. Just calm under pressure every time.
I couldn't agree with you more because if you have a think across the league, like obviously it's very specific with all Australia. You're comparing like for like players, you're comparing across positions. I don't think that there is another tall defender in the league on the same level as Alice Mitchell. Yeah, occasionally she makes an awkward mistake, but for the most part, she is solid down there. Like,
Yes, so like Cordner's probably a lock at fullback. But then you're thinking elsewhere, centre half back, the back pockets. She doesn't do anything wrong. Like, yeah,
no.
she She gave away that free kick to Anne Hatchard late
In
in the
the
third
back,
quarter.
yeah.
Side note, Hatchie, did you pick up some mustard on the way back? I love you to death, but my God, you took a dive there. I would have
Yep.
too, in
Hey,
fairness.
look, to be fair, if I was getting the calls going my way, go for it.
Yeah, so she just seemingly like she's a low possession player, and that's what I was saying to this person. I was like, I know she's a low possession player. Do you see her get beaten in one-on-ones? Do you see her misread the football? It's like
Yeah,
her stats are
the
never going to blow you off the park. But
no.
for just a buy the books defender, she's had 9 disposals on the weekend, 62 meters gain. That's because all of her kicks go sideways because it sets up our next running chain.
Hmm.
Her and Brenner are like I'm trying to think. There's probably like one pair in the competition I'd swap them for, and that's it. That's
Yeah.
and it involves Libby Birch, like because it's Libby
Yeah.
Birch. But yeah,
And
she
the only thing I could ever knock her on is that she can be a bit slow. But
she's a tall defender. She doesn't need
she
to
doesn't
run.
need to be fast. That's the thing. And I think some people think she's more. I have this theory. There's a bit of a tangent. If you wear black boots, you look more awkward while you play. So I don't think she actually is that gangly and awkward. I just think because she wears black boots, it makes her look more awkward. And now that I've said that, you pay attention now, Alex, and you see if the black people that wear black boots look more
I
awkward
think
while they
Brenner wears
play.
black boots as well.
Yeah, and she also does look a bit awkward sometimes.
Yeah, but Brenner looks like she'll just run through you, and I don't want that. That'd hurt.
Should we talk about? Do we want to talk about Brenner?
Okay,
Been a bit down on form.
this is you. This is all you. I've
Yeah,
got
I
nothing to do
messaged
with
Alex
this.
during the game, and I was like, I think I got to call her out. She's been not at her best, and to be fair, she is an All-Australian defender, so her best is the best, right? It's not like I'm expecting a lot from her. She has been a bit down, not her normal self, not taking the grabs she normally takes, not. I do think there's an element of everyone else stepping up around her and her not needing to. But in this game with Al Ash Van Loon there, it was evident to me that she was a step behind the rest of our
So
defenders.
you can look at it, and I'm a big stats guy. She's down across every metric this season except for
Yeah.
tackles. She's down from 13.5 disposals last season to 8.5. She's down from 3.5 marks to 2.5. She's up on tackles. She's halved her kicking from 10.1 to 4.9, and her handballs are basically the same.
Yeah, and I think she's not doing the kickouts anymore, which would make a big impact on the kicking
Well, yeah,
stat.
we've got a little zippy freak
Yeah,
down
we
there.
don't need her to. But I just think I don't know if she's carrying an injury or if it is just a pure fact of everyone else around her has stepped up, and so she doesn't need to be superstar all Australian defender in a team that finished 15th. But it's just something where I've gone, something's not quite
Clicking.
Brenner about her at the moment, and
That's
I
it.
want to see her just lift a little
Oh,
bit.
well, she's got a big game this weekend because
Yeah.
she's probably going to be playing on Talia Randall, who she gives about a
Well, this is
foot
going to be a
away
real
from.
test. If she comes out and has a blinder against Talia Randall, I will take back everything I just said. I
Yeah,
am more than willing to answer for my mistakes. It's just when you have these elite players in your squad and they're not reaching the level they can, you kind of go, what's going on there?
Side note, Alice Mitchell versus Kate Sheila is going to be very fun on the weekend. Two tall, lanky blondes just going hammer and tong
Yeah.
at it. It's going to be a great time. A lot of hair. Priv, your gal, she had an
Yeah.
almost day. She had
Yeah.
one. If one thing fell her way, it would have all clicked. But she had
Where
three
she
half.
took that mark that wasn't paid,
She took the mark that wasn't paid. She
and
had
then there
two
was a
half.
mark that wasn't a mark that was paid.
She took a couple of half volleys. She had a couple of handballs that just missed. She actually did give a very good outlet kick at one point to Amelia
She did
Martin.
do some good stuff. There was a point where I said to you, I don't stop putting her up the ground. Or maybe I said it to my dad,
Yeah.
stop putting her up the ground. But she actually in the third and fourth really started to come back into Priv-like areas. And I think it's very obvious she hasn't played footy recently.
Yeah,
But the signs are still there. So I don't look at her game and go, that's a droppable game. I think she still stays in the squad for next week. I don't know who you're going to bring in Giselle. Like, I just don't think there's other options out
I
there.
didn't know which oval we're playing at first. We're playing at the oval.
UT, the Launceston one.
Oh god, we're playing at the big ground, not the small North Hobart
Yeah.
that we played at last year. We're playing. Shit. All right. Oh,
Yeah.
it's on Saturday. I thought it was Sunday. God damn it. That
Yeah, there's a
ruined
lot
my
of
day.
shit that's annoying about this game because I would have much preferred it to be on Sunday because there's a public holiday on Monday. It's like the one good week that it would have been good for a Sunday game
I
But
have like
I mean, I get it. The NRL Grand Final's on, so why would you put a computer game on?
well, you got 3 games on Saturday.
No, as in
Sunday.
like why would you pick? You wouldn't put the Sydney team on
Oh,
against the
as if the AFL cares about that.
yeah.
But also the Storm are in the grand final too, so it's like
I know.
it's Storm versus Broncos, isn't it? I don't give a shit about
Yeah.
NRL. But oh wait, we have Thursday, Friday football this week. Hell yeah, we got Friday night footy this week. Sorry, I'm just looking ahead.
Yeah, now that the men's is done, we actually get a decent schedule instead of games
Yeah.
overlapping. Like,
So Utah's bigger oval.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed about that. I would have much rather play them on the shorter North
we
Hobart
nearly
oval.
we had them for half of footy at that
Yeah,
shorter oval.
So
Anyway,
that's what I mean.
yeah, but
Now-
we can stick to this game. But
We've danced around it enough. We need to talk about the umpiring.
Yeah.
And yes, of course we're biased. We're Sydney Swans fans talking about a Sydney Swans game on a Sydney Swans podcast. But when the rules are seemingly interpreted differently from one team to another in the game, that's when it's annoying. If they're
Yeah.
just completely shit all game,
yeah,
I don't care. If you as I got told when I was doing a data entry job when I just came out of uni, it's like we just want you to be consistent. If you're consistently shit, that's fine. If you're consistently good, that's even better. Whatever you do, you need to be consistent at your job.
yeah,
Umpiring yesterday was not. The free kick count was 14-7 at the end of the day, which also side note, 21 free kicks in a game of footy. Fantastic. Love it.
yeah.
I could have counted more because there was
Gave up.
yeah, kind of. I counted 6. I counted 6 obvious holding the ball decisions that didn't go Sydney's way.
Yeah,
And they were in important parts. So there was 3 at the start of the third quarter. Cynthia ran down someone and tackled them. Should have been
like it
holding
was
the
a rundown. It wasn't even like she had the ball for a good 30 seconds before she got run down.
Well, it wasn't
like-
30. It was like 5.
Okay, but still, like it was
Yeah.
a prop. If it was in the men's game, because
She-
obviously the rules are different in the men's and the women. Even in the men's game, that would be given.
Well,
ball.
she'd taken 5 steps. She'd had plenty of opportunity.
Yeah.
She went to handball it, missed it completely. Cynthia tackles her. Someone else takes a few steps. Chloe runs him down, and then Cynthia drills another player again. All in our forward 50. Then Montana picked the ball up 5 seconds later and in fairness, correctly got pinged for holding the ball. But it was just frustrating that the previous 3 had been missed.
Yeah,
The killer was late in the third quarter with 30 seconds to go. I can't remember who's laid the tackles, but there was a tackle on Boylo. Should have been holding the ball. She threw it. Tarlington then takes a couple of steps. Nothing.
it drops it on the ground, doesn't she? Like it
Yeah.
tries to get it on her boot, completely misses.
Misses. So that's incorrect disposal. Maddie Newman then picks up the football, takes a few steps, gets tackled. Should have been holding the ball. It's a ball up, center clearance, bang, Marinoff on that left. God, it's a good left foot. Hits Hatchard, who gets the free kick, kicks the goal. There's your game winner.
Yeah,
And when that happens, and you've lost by 2 points, and I'm just like, yeah, Sydney will be flat. 14-7 free kick count with a few obvious ones missed. It hurts at the end of the day. And someone's like, oh, you shouldn't have let Neve Kelly run around on her own. I was like, oh yeah, when one of the free kicks that aren't given leads to a goal that wins them the game, you can feel dirty. But yes, letting Neve Kelly run around all day wasn't ideal. But they also let Laura Gardner have
that's
37
the thing. Like you're talking about a 2-point game.
Yeah.
Okay, you
because you're
take
also
either of
talking
our best
about-
players out. Yeah, you're going to win the game. Like I don't.
If Cynthia gets the free kick 50 meters out directly in front at the start of the third quarter, we kick a goal and we're 3 goals in front.
Yeah. Or even like it's not all the umpiring. Yeah,
No.
Chloe kicks the goal, doesn't hit the post, we win the game.
Yeah.
Like there's so many little incremental bits of the game. Sarah Granda doesn't accidentally kick it to a Adelaide Ebony Marinoff in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
We could still win the game. There are so
Yeah.
many little things, but when you lose by 2 points and the umpiring is egregiously unfair, and to be fair, I didn't see a lot of neutrals watching this game, so it was hard to get a sense if we were being super biased, but I really don't think we were. Like it was pretty bad, especially with the holding the ball, especially with how many tackles we laid. Like if
I
you're
also
laying
forgot-
as many tackles as we had, you should also be winning the holding the ball count.
Yeah. I also had I forgot to mention there was 7 because when Grace Kelly took a mark and kicked a goal, another Adelaide player just shoved Lucy McAvoy out of the contest. So it should have been a free kick anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain about umpiring. I had a Freo fan showing the free kick count from the game where we got 33 free kicks straight. And I was like,
Yeah. And I was like,
but-
did you watch the game?
and as I said to the guys, like, yeah, 17 of those were holding the ball. So if you take away those, and in fairness, they probably missed 3 or 4 on us, which gets it to
Yeah.
33-12. But 17 holding the balls, like our tackling pressure that
Yeah.
day was elite.
Like-
The one free kick that killed me, thankfully, it didn't end up in a goal. TK gave away needless free kick about 40 out to I can't remember someone with a hyphenated name, and
Oh, was it not the
I can't remember who it was.
Ewings?
No, it wasn't Hannah
Not
Ewings.
that one?
Oh God, I could go off about Hannah Ewings. Don't worry, that is a
Yeah.
complete. She's going to waste all of that talent, Hannah Ewings. It's very
Anyway,
disappointing. She could be one of the best players in the
but
game.
what I was going to say while you looked that up is if we had lost this game by, let's say, 3 goals and the
Don't care.
umpiring was that bad, I would go, whatever. It's fine. Okay. The umpire is going to be bad sometimes. It is what it is. But when you only lose by 2 points and it's very obvious that some of those
Stevie
decisions
Lee Thompson.
yeah, okay, could have led to a goal or not given Adelaide an opportunity at goal, it does sting and it's gonna hurt. And when the competition is so tight, like I didn't even realize coming into this game, obviously us and Adelaide were on the same points. Our percentage points were only 0.2 different.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about razor thin margins coming into finals. And yes, only losing by 2 does help in the long run. But God, it would have just been good to get a win. And it does suck when you go, oh, did they just wanted Aberdeen Marinoff and Ellie Anderson to win their 100th game? Not to be a conspiracy theorist, but you do kind of, that does come into the back of your mind because it was that bad.
Yeah, it's.
I'm
I'm
going to
not.
quickly rant about something that I know you don't want to rant about.
All right, I'm getting up the socials for the next segment, so go.
Yeah. Kelly Underwood. You've commentated us 3 weeks in a row now. How have you still not realized who is who? How have you still not realized which player is which player? How do you still not know basic information about the players? Also, Meg Mac, I'm also coming for you. You also got basic information about the players wrong. Laura Gardner was not an All-Australian last year. Where did that come from? Ali Anderson and Ebony Marinoff, they strategically scheduled this game to start at the same time so they could both get the 100 record at the same time. The amount of time she said the Brisbane game is happening after this. No, it was literally happening as we were watching that game. Like, it's infuriating to sit there and go, you don't know, like, you're trying to listen to your team, a team that you know and you're so passionate about and know everything about back of your hand, and getting basic things like Laura Housiger and Amelia Martin confused. They don't even play at the same end of the field. Like how, like just use your basic context clues of, well, she's in the forward 50, so it's probably Amelia Martin. Like
There was a mix up between Sarah Grundon and Zippy Fish at 1.2, but
yeah. And Sarah Grundon and Montana Ham. And I get it. They're both blonde girls, but you were not at that ground. So you do not have the excuse of being at eye level. No, you were watching it on TV as I was, and I can tell who all those players are. You've watched us 3 weeks in a row. You don't get an excuse anymore. I'm sick of having to listen to this terrible commentary. Anyway, that's a rant. But I think we've kind of covered off everything we want to talk about in this game. I don't really want to leave it on a negative note, but everyone stood up, I think, in this game. I think that was the most important thing. There was a couple of players you could probably say lights were too bright for, and that's going to happen.
Yeah.
These girls are very young.
To finish off on a high note, shout out to Sarah Steele Park's biceps. I have jealousy.
What a machine.
Yeah,
What a machine.
Pipes Park, I'm calling her. My
Yep.
God. Give me your bicep regime, please. Dead set fitness animals this team is.
And
love it.
I'll quickly say her on one wing, Lulu on the other. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Obviously, there's someone missing who I think would be better on the wing, but until she's fit, I'm more than happy with that duo. But I think that pretty much wraps up this heartbreaking game that could have been such a jubilee. We could have come in here with such a jubilation.
Oh, the
But
long run I would have come off. So as a side note, just quickly, we'll finish it off after this. In the last 5 minutes of this game, my horse, I know people don't like horse racing. I understand if you don't like horse
yes.
racing, that's fine. My horse was about to run in a big race in Dubbo. The Dubbo Cup was on yesterday. My dad is in Dubai at the moment because he's coming back from a holiday. I'm trying to ring him and FaceTime him because he can't watch the race to connect my phone so I can hold it like this so he can watch it off the laptop while the last 2 minutes of this frigging game is going on. How do you think I was going in the last 5 minutes?
I had to go, I was so angry, which people probably saw on the Instagram post uploaded for people to upload their speak pipes. I had to go and take the dog for a walk to calm down because I was actually shaking with how just
Yeah.
frustrated I was because it is very devastating when your team does everything right and still loses.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest takeaway from this game. But we'll
Let's
leave
wrap
this
it up.
here. We'll come back with the social seg and because we love a little bit of social engagement.
This is True Bloods, and we are back for a big social segment. It's a big one, Pol. We put the
It is a
speak
big
pipes out
one.
straight after the game on Sunday night. So I was like, get them straight out while it's raw to the faithful, and let's see what they come up with. And shout out to the team for getting around the social engagement. We love the social engagement from the faithful.
We sure do. So we'll jump straight into this one from DMAC. These are all like on Sunday night. I'm assuming maybe as shaking and angry as I was. Probably not. But we'll go with DMAC first.
Feel your frustration, Paul. Look, the girls just looked so much sharper than last week. That's a bonus. They played a great team. I'm just sick of talking about the umpires. If they're bad, be bad both ways. Just should have been a
Yes.
down free kick in that last minute when Grundon got pummeled to the ground. They just missed a lot. Look, in the end of the day, you got to be ahead more than trying to win the game in the last minute all the time. But girls played better. Just got to keep the chin up, keep going. On to next week.
Yeah.
I need
Agreed,
to go find
DMAC.
this Sarah Grundon thing. Hold
Yeah, I
on.
don't remember that, but I will take your word for it, D.
Yeah.
Much more
Uno
calm
Mementos,
and
civil play.
level-headed than I was post game. And I was very stoked for the like how well the girls played. It was just frustrating to lose it the way we did.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, thank you, DMAC, for sending in a voice note. Keep sending them
I'm
in.
I'm getting the replay up to find this, by the way. I've got a minute to go on this, but keep going.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Okay. This is from Anonymous.
G'day, Pol, Alex. It's Nicola from Cheltenham. Can confirm it does bloody kill ya.
Doesn't it just?
That was really disappointing to not come away with that win. If they don't score that 3/4 time goal, then we win. So, so disappointing. For mine, though,
For yours.
plenty of
Yours.
positives to take out of it. We were much better at adapting to the swings in momentum in the game. The tackling was just phenomenal, much better standard. Some really great individual performances. Tanya Kennedy was just unreal, particularly in the first half. And yeah, I do think we had, our disposal efficiency was not high. I think some of those kicking errors were really, really bad. I know it was a high pressure game, but yeah, not ideal. Keep putting ourselves under all this pressure, making mistakes and miss kicks. I think there are a few players that aren't quite up to standard, which is a bit of a shame. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with selection next week. And yeah, also big shout out to Sarah Steele Park's gun.
She got cut off, but the guns, they got mentioned.
You and Alex. Oh, sorry, you and Nicola are just on the same wavelength. Yeah, we didn't even mention Tanya Kennedy.
Yeah. I found the free kick, by the way. Yeah, she got Sarah Steele Park, Sarah
Sarah
Grundon
Grundon.
with a minute 45 to go. Gets absolutely ironed out after she's kicked the footy
Yes.
on the defensive
Yes.
50.
And I was like, that should have been a downfield. I remember saying that out loud.
Kicks it, bang. That's given every week in the men's. So that should have been a free kick to probably, that's Chloe in the center circle with a minute and a half to go.
Yeah.
And Zippy Fisher's goals. Oh God, Zippy. Okay, I'm not gonna go down that
There
rabbit
was,
hole.
I can't even.
The guns,
yes,
guns.
the
Sarah Steele
guns.
Park's guns.
Yeah. Look, highlight
Yeah.
for mine. Like a highlight for
For
yours.
yours.
But yeah, thank you, Nicola. Yeah, agreed. Like, again, much more level-headed than I was.
Nicola is a very level-headed person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely agree with Tanya Kennedy. We didn't mention her, but she did have a fantastic game. It's one of those ones where if you play good every week, sometimes we're just not going to mention you, like, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I'm interesting to hear Nicola's opinions on who she would like to see drop because it's kind of hard when you're in the girls because there isn't really anything else to go off. There's no
Yeah.
VFLW at the same time. So there's only scrimmage matches and that really only says so much. So it'll be interesting to see if they do make significant changes. I personally don't think that they will, but
We'll talk about that
Nicola,
next
send us
set.
another voice note if you have specific changes you want to see going into the Carlton game. This is from Big Phil, Phil from Picton.
I love Phil.
Polly, Alex, faithful. It's Phil from Picton here, making my SpeakPipe debut on the AFLW pod, and I can only
Thank you
wish
very
it would have
much.
come under better circumstances. Doesn't it just kill you? 2 points. Only 2 points away from what would have been a very unlikely win, you'd have to say, based on our previous fortnight of footy. But this was an incredible game. A great spectacle, a great effort, a game that was so good it made up for the fact that we can't seem to get away from Kelly Underwood's commentary, but I digress. For mine, if we just played 80% as well as we played today, you cannot tell me, you simply cannot, that
You
we
simply
don't beat
can't.
both the Orange team and the Wussy Girl Pies.
Yeah.
4-3 now. And the shine of the early 4 and zippy is well and truly worn off. But it's a huge game against North next week, and we stick fat. Up the potty, up the Bloods.
That's a strong debut from Phil. Big Phil. That is a strong debut performance.
He's a good boy, Big Phil. He's a smart man because yes, summed up what we talked about in the first hour much quicker than we did.
All I've remembered is this is Deeb's fault for going with 4 and zippy. I'm blaming him.
Yeah, look, if we can blame Deeps for take it, makes our life easier. Don't blame us. We've never said anything wrong.
Yeah, that idiot podcaster and Polly. We've never done anything wrong.
This is Matt.
G'day, Polly, AD, faithful. Matt from Chatswood here. Gee, huge improvement from the girls today. That was absolute thrill to cheer them on, to go down by 2 against Adelaide. Obviously a pretty meaningful game for Adelaide. There was a pretty huge effort. As frustrating it is to lose by 2, you definitely take that result. But I think for mine,
For yours.
it really just, I guess, shows why it's so frustrating that we lost to the Pi WS when we're capable of doing that. So, that it is, but look, it is what it is. And, you get up and you go again. And, coming into this season, the one thing I was looking for was Ali Morfitt and Montana Ham to be healthy and playing every game. Sadly, obviously, Ali missed this week, but gee whiz, Montana Ham, you could do worse than building the whole plane out of Montana Ham shots for goal on the run. That was pretty spectacular. And to think she's only 21, the future is pretty bloody bright. Up the girls, up the Bloods, up the potty. Cheers.
Perfect. Thank you, Matt. Yes, I mean, the future is bright. It does sting, but it's also in a weird way this season it's like, well, as long as we can maybe get a final win, we're definitely going to win the grand final. So any sort of level of improvement on last year
North
is
could
good.
somehow slip up in a prelim and we don't have to play them. Don't know how, but we might not. They might have the food poisoning game. Just saying.
If someone wants to go take bad kebabs down to Arden Street, some, terror,
Yeah.
some food terrorism, let us know.
No, we don't want to be implicated in any crime. If you want to do that, that's off your own volition, and we here at True Bloods have no say in that.
We do not condone it. We do not condone it. Do not go and give bad suvas to Arden Street, please.
We do not condone nor encourage food poisoning.
But that was it from post-game reactions. Everyone much more calmer than I was. But thank you for sending them through. As always, the Speaks Pipe link is in the link in bio, so you can post one anytime, send us one any time of the week. We will play it. Or if we somehow pull off a miraculous win, or if we go down the exact same way in the North game, feel free to send us a voice note post that as well.
If we beat North, the levels of being back would never
especially with you coming up the next week. It would be just so good, Alex. So good.
Yeah.
But there were some good reactions on the post-game post that I put up. So maybe we'll talk about those before we jump into the actual Ask the Faithful we put up today. Sorry, just a bit of saliva. Cynthia Hamilton did love the photo choice, so shout out to Cynthia Hamilton.
Yeah, we've had a great couple of days with the socials there, and shout out to the gals. Like,
Yeah.
always getting around the socials. Like, yeah, it's a very enjoyable time. But good to see there was some rational and not so rational stuff in the socials. We love that. No matter which
Yeah.
way you want, you can be completely irrational. Like right now in a group chat that I'm in about the Swans men, they're talking about Christian Petrarca having a meal with someone at the Swans, and I'm just like, no one wants Christian Petrarca at the Swans. We don't need another broken
We don't
midfielder.
need
We
the
can't afford
Colgate.
him.
We don't want the Colgate brothers. Like, let them be separate.
Yeah, we will take a Malcolm Roses Jr. who, like Joel Hamling, I have never known, don't recognize, and wouldn't know him if he was in my porridge. Shout out to Mads.
Shout out to Mads. Um, I going to go with this one from Brenton Deering over on the Facebooks on our post game post.
Yeah.
Massive efforts today. Such an intense game. They fought till the end. A couple unlucky missed opportunities and some questionable umpiring decisions both ways. Not sure about that. Could have been a different result, but proved that they can take it to the best. Time to start building some momentum towards finals. Some young stars emerging and cool heads for such early days. Promising signs.
Yeah. Richard Scott. So this is a good one. I attended. They played well. Were just pipped at the post. The interstate supporters in the northern end of the pavilion of the Sturt Football Club were vocal and great. A few holding the ball calls were a bit different, but it is what it is. We need a Barmy Army type song that we can sing over and over again. The whole Sydney chant is unsustainable and eventually fades out. Deebs, you and the boys can figure that one out.
Yeah.
Just don't create a song
Shout
that'll
out,
get us cancelled.
yeah, shout out to Richard Scott for getting down to the game. There was, even on the TV, it looked like there was a good Sydney turnout there, which there always is because we are such good supporters of our girls. So yeah, keeping it loud. I did like something that Scotty said in the post match where he said it is interesting trying to get the girls used to the crowd not cheering when you think you've gotten a hold in the ball because we are so vocal at Henson Park. So I thought that was an interesting little tidbit from the post match interview with Scotty. Most of this stuff is, pretty positive.
Except for Paul Zero, so you can fuck off, Paul.
Why are you even commenting? Why are you even? I'm not even acknowledging it.
Yeah.
Charles Cunningham. I can't get my head around the holding the ball. There were so many essays where we tackled them without penalty as soon as they were caught with the ball. It's holding the ball. Yeah. So I was having to explain the rule to a couple of people who don't watch the W all that much because the W rule is different to the men's rule, and I think I prefer if it's umpired to the letter of the law. I think I prefer the women's rule of it. You need to get rid of it as soon as you get it. I don't mind that. It's just I was having to go like, okay, this is the rule in the women's. It was not umpired that way in this game. So I don't know what to tell you. That's the frustrating part of if you're like someone like Alex or I, where we're kind of the fountains of wisdom, if you will, when it comes to the W. Having to explain when things don't make sense is really difficult from that perspective. But I think let's jump over to the Ask the Faithful. So Alex messaged me very early this morning.
I did have one more from Mulch.
Oh no, you go.
From our person, Mulch Core Enthusiast.
Oh, you got to read the long message out?
Gotta read it out because it's good. Because considering it's a few things we've talked about. That was a solid four-quarter effort, still some skill errors, but stuck to the task, grinded it out, and just fell short. McAvoy's so much better down back, and I thought Lexi had one of the better games too. Not too disappointed in the players after this one, but the coaches, Woolboy, Van Loon easily makes a 2-goal conceded difference and we lose by 2 points. I'm asking some serious questions there. So I think that means Mulchcore thinks that Ash is a 2-goal better defender, so we would have kept Adelaide to 4 goals, not 6. Thought the umps were horrendous as well. LG not getting that holding the ball right in front, correct. SLT running way off her line with that goal after the siren, and then Lucy being pushed and skittling Mitchell leading to another goal. Seriously, what is with the umpiring? There are thousands of fans waiting to tune in and take this league seriously. It's not a knock on the players, but the uneven draw and poor umpiring make it hard at times. Half the games every week look dead set like match fixing. Like, what is this played on and tried? No, you get caught, dropped it through it. What is the point of incorrect disposal if it doesn't apply in all the tackles? Mulchcore, you've nailed it, mate. Friend, pal, buddy, whatever you are. The umpiring, a good friend of mine, producer Alessi, friend of ours, friend of the show, friend of everyone.
Yes.
She doesn't enjoy the AFLW because of the umpiring. She's a staunch believer that the umpires are part-time, they're not good enough at their jobs, and it takes away from the product that is the game, and it makes the game worse. And she is not on board with it until they make the umpiring better and full-time, and that is her, and that is completely fine because I know a lot of people that are just like that. Alessi still watches the games, but doesn't
actively get
emotionally
involved. Yeah,
invest.
invest. Yeah, and I think that's totally fair because if that was the first game you tuned into as a Swans fan and it's your first time sort of getting you adjusted to the league, it's really disheartening to
Yep.
have it go just, the way it's. I mean, I think it was pretty obvious to anyone watching that game. Again, I didn't see that many neutrals watching it. I don't know why they decided to watch Brisbane Richmond, but most neutrals were watching that game instead.
Because they wanted to see how drunk Darcy Wilmot was.
Yeah. Okay. So Alex messaged me very early this morning within Ask the Faithful. Despite the loss, was this our best performance of the year? How are we feeling for our finals chances at 4-3 before we take on the seemingly unbeatable North? Best answers to each on the potty and send in your speak pipes. And we did actually get a speak pipe in response to the Ask the Faithful from the ever reliable Saundo. So let's give that a
Yes.
listen first.
Hello, Saundo.
Polly, Alex, Faithful, Saunder from Pennant Hills here. Hope you're all doing well. It's been said many times, it's not about losing, it's about the way we lose, and we certainly didn't disgrace ourselves on Sunday. Doesn't make copping the L any easier though. Was it our best performance so far? Well, for mine,
For yours,
For
considering
yours.
Saundo.
Adelaide are probably the best team we've come up against, I would say it was. A few of the girls had their best performances of the year as well. LG with a lazy 37. Lexi Hamilton was fantastic. And Zippy, behind the ball in the last quarter, played one of her best quarters of the year. Please keep her there, Scotty. In terms of our finals chances, I'm generally optimistic, but with the Collingwood and Giants games, our margin for error was already slim. So if we're going to make finals, we have to take the opportunity when we are in a close contest against a good side to pinch those 4 points. But unfortunately, we let this one slip with four top eight sides to come. So I'm a bit less sure now. Can't give up on it yet. But regardless of what happens, this core group is strong and resilient, and we are certainly building for some sustained success. Up the potty, up the Swannies, go girls.
Go
Good stuff,
girls,
Saundo.
indeed. Thank you, Saundo. Yeah, I
I agree.
agree. Well,
Yeah, if we'd won this game and we were 5-2, I would be like, yep, we're making the finals. Like,
yeah,
lock it in because you could allow for it. You could allow for losing both games to Carlton and Melbourne now, and then you'd be 5-5, and then we're going to beat West Coast. We will beat West Coast when they come over, and Essendon, we will beat them because they'll play one good quarter as long as we can sustain that and stop Maddie Prasparkas. We
yeah,
will be fine. And also, actually, just tag Nanscore. And if you stop those
yeah.
two, you'll win the game. But Essendon's best and worst, just go watch the North game on the weekend. They were good for one quarter. North went, all right, that's enough. That's cute.
Yeah,
Go
we
away.
had some fun. We're trying
Yeah.
out new ways of
Yeah.
losing.
So
Of winning.
that game against Carlton now next weekend is a genuine 8-pointer. And I went and watched Carlton on Friday night. Actually, we'll talk about this later. We're going to keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah. I will just quickly say this game though did give me confidence. I was worried about though Carlton and West Coast games pre this game. This made me feel more confident about those two, but we will touch on that later. Um, Ashworth Blair on Instagram said, "Can still hope for a home final, but top four another year or two away for mine." For
For
yours,
yours.
Ashworth.
Yeah, I mean, if because we're going to get a tough draw next year the way this is going, but I
Yeah.
think we're going to be playing 14 games next year, so it probably evens itself out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Finn M89, I would probably say that was our third best game of the year. We'd have to say the Suns game was first by far, maybe the Freo game second. For finals, we're probably going to have to beat West Coast, Carlton, Essendon. I reckon we have a 30% chance of making the eight. If we win those games, we're 7-5. We're playing finals.
Yeah, I was having a look at the ladder today, and there are a bunch of
God
teams.
damn it, Port Adelaide! What the hell?
Don't even get me started. There's a bunch of teams on the same amount of points as us, but there aren't that many teams on that many points above us. But then also there's a big gap to them below us. So yes, it is getting scary, but also there's a lot of things still to consider. We are only halfway through the season. There is still a lot of games to be played, a lot of teams that can just capitulate like Port did against the Saints. So,
We need a player with a headband because Georgia Garnett had a headband. Jesse Wardlaw has a headband. Who
We
is
need a
going to step
headbander.
up? Who is going to step up in the in
Cynthia,
the
you
W
gave
Centre?
up the headgear. Let's chuck a headband on.
Oh, headband Hamilton, bring it on.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Putting that out in the ether.
jumping over to the Facebooks. This is a long one, but I'm going to read it out, which it's going to be difficult. So bear with me, faithful. Super proud of the team. Effort was there all day and we were in it. Saying we were in it, I mean, I felt like we could win it. Not by luck, but by actual skill and effort. This is where, for yours, only their experience helped them win the game. And with that tight loss, I hope the girls become believers that they are good enough because they are. Wow. Decision making at the end of the game, along with a couple of other times, just hurt a bit, but that will come with more experience. I like that our depth was able to play a role in the game. Huge plus. Ham's impact in the game turning and Kennedy's never die attitude is team bonding. My star has to be Gardner. Everywhere tackles, extraction, marks, and goals. Just simply speechless for a 22-year-old player. Reed did well in the ruck and for our 4-game player, and Zippy was so good running on the back. Cooper might need some tackling to build confidence, but she is a talent in front of goal. But cannot finish without mentioning our captains. Both had good games, and did what they needed to do as the whole team played at the highest standard. Bring on the Roos, up the Swannies. Thank you, Nick Martin. Sorry, my reading comprehension is not the best, but yes, you summed it up perfectly. Like I felt shattered at the end of the game, and then coming into today, it was this lightness of how well we played, and you don't get to experience that very often in a loss. So you have to take the good into the bad sometimes.
Back to your Instagrams, where our pal
You're gonna read it again?
Yeah, I'm going for it again. This is obviously today after yesterday's comment. Much better effort this week. That was a really competitive performance against a very good team. We still made this silly skill errors, but we had really professional passages of play. Actually, as a side note, there was one in the third quarter that ended up with an intercept mark to Adelaide. There was a chip out of halfback. They got handballed off to Lucy. Another mark handballed back to Lucy, who pumped it long. Intercept mark on by Zoe Prowse was taken. But if that's the way we're going to play, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Continuing on. I thought Lexi had one of her best games for us, and LG had more impactful touches this week. Maloney might need a rest now. Still looks a bit iffy for the third week in a row. Selection still confuses me. Thought the debutantes played well, and I truly feel we win with Van Loon in the side. Lucy needs to play down back for the foreseeable future. The composure and the run that she brings was noticeable right away. Thought Montana and TK looked more composed too. Completely agree. However, we really need to start targeting some other forwards. Chloe's good, but not a permanent 2-on-1 good, especially when one of those two is playing a lockdown role. But that and some selection are the only big issues I saw with that game. The team themselves played very well. I agree. If you're a good tall forward in the AFLW right now, you can almost write your own check, because there are so many teams that need a genuine forward marking target.
It's a lack of across the sport.
It's across the competition. Somehow North have 3 of them. We've got a few.
Yeah, and they were allowed to just get another one last year.
Yeah, that's all right. At least Sheeran, it's okay. Damien Franco. See what happens when the girls start looking like deers caught in the headlights when it comes to tackling. They began to look like a team whose unstoppable brute force fight with the winning chance and played like true bloods. It's exactly the type of pressure that's been missing. It's the main reason why this game wasn't a repeat of the last 2 losses. Although the loss sucked, this was the best performances of the girl all season. And I left the game feeling in more of a positive headspace than I did at the Derby. And for yours. Something needs to be pointed out about some certain players who seems to be always caught holding the ball consistently. That is becoming a thing for quite a while, at least once every game since the season began. Damo, no idea who you're talking about there.
I do.
It's probably LG, I'm assuming.
That's not who I was thinking.
When LG has 37 touches, she's going to get her hands on the footy a lot.
Yeah, no. I was thinking about her dynamic duo.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
As in Darcy Maloney.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we'll wrap up with this one because we do go on.
Yeah.
Gabrielle Cregan, considering such big outs with Hurley and Morfitt unavailable, what a game. Very competitive and could have gone either way. Shout out for Lexi Hamilton. She stood tall all day. Yeah.
Yeah.
That pretty much wraps up the social seg. We are going to come back and preview this very daunting game right after this. Welcome back to True Bloods. Oh boy, Alex. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's a way of putting it.
So we come up against the formidable North Melbourne, who have not lost a game in 600 plus days.
So they've won in their current winning streak. They've won 21 games. And they've had the draw as well. That is more games than the men's team have won in the last 5 years.
Yeah. And they still don't get around the girls. Weird
No,
fan
no,
base. Weird fan base.
the fans. I was about to say the
No, no, no,
teammates.
not the club, not the club. The club's fine. I'm
Yeah.
saying the fan
Okay.
base.
Yeah.
Yeah, so last year we came into this game and for some reason we have to play them again this year and for some reason we're also playing them in Tassie again.
Yeah. Why
I
not
don't know
let us
why.
play Brisbane? Like, I would have much rather that.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because they know we have fans in Tassie that they chose to play us in Tassie. Shout out to did the Swans win. I'm fairly certain he's going to this game on
Yeah, and
Twitter.
shout out to the people in the Facebook group as well as the Sydney Swans Facebook group that have been trying to get together a guard of honor and build a banner for the girls. So shout out to
Yeah,
all
oh,
of them.
that's amazing.
Pack it
Yes.
out, pack out the hill, have some tins, make some noise.
Yeah. It's a bit hard to come into this game to preview it, I should say, because they are just so far ahead of everyone. It feels silly. But last year we were up at halftime.
Ha!
And yes, they did, and then they beat us by 60 points. So
And then what happened, Paul? What
Yeah.
happened after halftime?
hey, I was loving life because it's the ones where you don't expect to do well when you actually play decently that feel the best. So
Yeah, they did.
it's really hard to preview this game. There isn't really much that we can say other than
North are really
if they
fucking
play,
good.
yeah, if they play as well as they did on the weekend, I still don't think it's going to be enough. And that is really hard to say because I never like to count our girls out, but it does feel like that, and that is just a comment on how good North are. I honestly don't even really like watching them play because how good they are. They're so much better than everyone else that it just is like, okay, I'm watching a training drill, and so it does. It's not good for the league, and realistically,
Yeah, and the funny thing is, North. It's not funny, it's unfortunate, but they're going through a bit of an injury crisis right now. Like Alice O'Loughlin has a lacerated kidney, Erica
yeah.
O'Shea's ankle's cooked, and a couple of other players have been in and out all year. Tessa Boyd being one of them too, as well as Mia King. Yeah, they're still unbeaten and on 300 and something percent. Like it's
Yeah,
wild.
it's
They're so good.
yeah, I just don't even know what you like. I think everyone's tried to throw stuff at them, and yes, people have come close, and I can't even think of if they've even really played a good team yet so far this season.
I will go through their fixture
Yeah, can
quickly.
you have a look because that is a question mark in my head. I guess they played Brisbane. That was the grand final rematch.
They beat Geelong in round one by 30
That was
points.
meant to be a hard game.
It was good. It was good for the first three quarters, and they
Yeah.
went, enough of this. Smoked Port Adelaide. I went to that game. They look so good.
Yeah.
Beat Kangaroos by 100. Beat Collingwood. That's the game where I said Collingwood are actually pretty good. Easily beat Brisbane. Smash Carlton. They didn't score a point in the first quarter against Essendon. And I was like,
Windy Hill, windy.
yeah, Windy Hill lived up to its name because
Yeah.
at halftime, at the quarter time was 20-0 in front of Essendon. At quarter time it was 35-21.
I was
Yeah.
because I live in Sydney working on Friday, and so I was like only half paying attention to the score, and I opened the app and I don't even dislike North, but it's just because they are so good, it would just be nice to see them lose one.
Yeah, but you don't want them to lose the week before they play us.
No, no, if they're gonna drop one, drop it this week. But
Yeah.
we are playing them in Tassie. We're playing at North Hobart. Sorry, no, UTAS, which is in Launceston. We did play them in North Adelaide over last year. It's supposed to be 19 and cloudy, so not even that bad
It'll be cold as
conditions.
shit there.
Yeah, it'd be cold, but it's not gonna. It doesn't. I don't know if it's gonna be windy, which is the main concern when you're playing in Tassie. So that's at least there's that. At least it's not going to be horrific conditions. I guess the main question coming into this game for you is as someone who does watch a lot of North Melbourne, and I choose not to.
Yeah.
Is there a chance Riddell is taggable? Now I know they have a million good players, and so it's like, yeah, if Riddell's tagged, someone else just steps up. But do you think that there is a way you can tag her?
Yeah, there is. The thing is, you need to be around the contest because the thing is, she's the one that gets in and under. But then as soon as the ball's up, she's gone. She's probably their fittest player. Like,
Yeah.
she just covers the ground and doesn't stop running all day. And she's the link up play. So this is the time where you need to get really physical with her. And I say this in the most non-disrespectful way possible. You need to bully her.
Yeah.
You need to go to old school Tony Liberatore style on her because I don't think anyone's ever given her that hard of a tag. I would say to TK, she's probably our fittest player. I don't care if you don't get a possession. Anytime Ash Riddell's near the ball, smash her.
Well, I mean, that's what she loves to do anyway.
Yes.
So
The only problem is the single best player in the competition is fit
yeah,
next to her. Her name is
yeah,
Jasmine Garner. She is untaggable because, let's be honest, she is the AFLW's Marcus Bontempelli.
yeah,
She is literally Bont in, well, she's Jasmine Garner is who she is.
yeah,
We shouldn't compare men to women, but in the regard of she's tall, she's strong, she kicks goals, she covers the ground and somehow doesn't get the respect from the umpires despite being the greatest player in the competition. But so far, it isn't funny at times. She's there. You've also got Mia King, Amy Smith, and Jenna Bruton on wings. They sort of float in and out of games, but they work hard all day. Emma Carney is what Lucy McElroy is going to be in 8 years' time. Just if you look at Emma, that's what Lucy's going to be. Just the smartest player on the field that reads the football, that is going to take intercept marks all day. Ely Sheeran is an All-Australian halfback that is now playing for North Melbourne after leaving Richmond. She's probably going to play on Cynthia, Libby Birch, or Jazz Ferguson. One of them's going to line up on Chloe. Like, it's just like North
it's
Melbourne.
scary. It's scary, and this is why I'm like
41 is the highest score they've allowed since this started. Like,
Yeah.
and then their forward line is scary good too. Kate Shearlaw can pop up. Vicky Wall is a powerhouse. Like,
Blathen,
if she,
I
Blathen
don't think that's
Bogue,
how it's pronounced. I don't.
Blaine Bogue,
Yeah.
she's a chance of kicking like goal of the year. But then you look at you got Tess Craven who can come off a bench, as in Ruby Tripodi as well. Tessa Boyd's there. Emma King's very tall. Like, they're just the one weak position for them is ruck, and now Ruckman's injured.
I was gonna say, do we think Ali's back this week?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. But
The one good thing is that for some reason, when Ali goes down, Lexi
Yeah.
does step up. Her best game before last week was against North.
yeah, so our best chance to get them is to win the clearance battle. We've got to. The only way to beat North is we're not going to beat them if we try and lock it down because they'll lock it down better than us. The best way to try and win this game is to use our run and carry and just get them uncomfortable. Is to get the ball from clearance and immediately push out wide. And this is where you have Zippy and Montana running in waves and trying to get the ball in long. And hopefully Chloe just has a day out. Like that. That is the only way we can win this game. And this is. It's a 1 in a million chance. Like.
But hey, crazier things have happened.
So, North Melbourne are 5-goal favourites. If we can get within 4 goals, I am thrilled.
Yeah.
This is just like this is the one time this isn't a Swannies by how far. It's a Swannies by how close. And if we can get it to 3 goals, I'm happy. Like last week, I pumped myself up pre-game on the pod, and then all week I was like, "Fuck, it's Adelaide," and then Ali gets injured. And then I had no expectations. And we came out and we played so well. I just want to see that effort again.
Yeah.
And if we bring that effort and North Melbourne are too good, as Mad says all the time, I don't care about the result. I care about how we play. And that's all I care about this weekend.
And
the results will take care of themselves.
Yeah, and I go back to what I said at the very start of this episode, where I said I think the reason we dropped those GWS and Collingwood games is because of the mental way we went about coming into those games. We thought they were easy wins, and they proved not to be. We thought Adelaide was going to be tough. We prepared for a tough game. We put on a tough face. We probably, like, realistically, we're not going to win this game, but I do think they would have prepared for it in the same way they prepared for Adelaide. They're going to come in with it tough, and it's going to be, I think, a better game than people anticipate. And that is what we like to hear. I'm a little bit glad it is on the Saturday, so I have enough time to get over watching it by the time by the time we talk about it. Because next week we might have a really long preview part as opposed to the review part that we have this week.
Well, yeah, there'll be bits and pieces to pick apart from this game. But
yeah, do we think the selection? So obviously there was a massive selection change coming into this game. Do we think anyone's going to be dropped? Do we think anyone's going to come back?
So it's only if Ali and Sophia are due to come back. If they're due to come back in, obviously they'll come back in. If Ali's in, I think Caitlin will go to the bench. Will drop out.
Yep.
And if Sophia's back,
probably Grundon, I would guess.
Oh, I think she's been good. I don't.
But then I just can't think of who else. There's I guess Sarah Still Park, maybe.
Yeah, which might be a bit rough, but maybe it's Holly, and we try and drag the North defenders up the ground and try and leave Chloe one out one-on-one against Jazz Ferguson or Libby Birch, which I don't really enjoy, but
Do
this is also
yeah.
Chloe Molloy, so she can do it. So I don't think Holly will get dropped because I think her defensive pressure is important, but it's also these players are so classy. They just
I don't
know that
think that would fall for it like
yeah.
Richmond
So
did.
yeah.
Oh, the only other person I'm not sure about is
Oh, maybe actually, in
our
fairness,
man,
maybe
mulch
it's
core enthusiast Skull Van Loon. Do we think she gets it? I don't know. We don't really know why she was dropped. I don't think she had a bad enough
yeah.
up until that point to be
Maybe it's
dropped.
just
So
it could have been how he wanted to structure up against Adelaide as well, but
yeah,
it's also maybe Priv gets dropped if Sophia's back as well, and then we just
yeah.
really crack in at the midfield.
Which I think Prue needs to gain time if she's going to stay in this team.
Yeah.
But I think in this coming game, I don't think it's super necessary for her to be there.
Yeah. I think they need to figure out what Darcy Maloney's best position is because she's
They
in our
don't know.
best team, but I don't
I
think they
think
know.
I think half forward.
Yeah.
If you think
But
about her
that's
best game she played, yes, it was against Geelong, her old club. Obviously, that's going to be her best game, but that's where she played, and I think that's where they should be keeping her. So
yeah.
maybe it's a Holly gets dropped, Darcy gets dropped back. If Sophie's fit, Sophie comes into the midfield, something along those lines.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think we'll probably see some changes. Hopefully, Sophie and Ali are fit. Even if Ali's not fit, I'm not super stressed about that. I do think our rocks stand up well when she's not
Yeah.
there. Who are you inviting to the party, Alex?
Up against on the big stage, up against the toughest opponents to date to show that she's all Australian quality, Montana Ham.
Love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just bashing them through the midfield. She's like, "Hey, Jazz Garner, I know you're good. I'm the future. Watch this. Go
Yeah.
on, Mon. Big day for Montana Ham."
I sorry, I gave her a bit of a spray in the first segment, but I think coming up against the best forward line in the competition, it's going to be Brenna Tarrant. She's been down on form. I think she stands up against one of their tall forwards and just really shows why she was all Australian last year. So, Swanee's by how close?
Look, if we keep this within 20 points, and this is the only ever time, and I said it all year, the only ever time I will not be tipping the Swans to win. Shout out to Did the Swans win down in Tasmania. Hope you have a great day out. This is the only time I will not be tipping the Swans. It's just it is illogical. It would be those Carlton fan podcasts that you see. It'd
Yes,
be like
because there's about a million of them for some
yeah,
reason.
it'd be like one of them saying we're gonna beat whoever, and this is
Yeah.
the men's Carlton podcast,
Yeah.
whatever. These are the ones that are saying you need to give us Errol Goulden for Charlie Keno. That's the level of delusion these people live in.
Yes.
If we get this within 4 goals, but it's also if we get beaten by 7 goals, but bring the effort that we brought on the weekend, I don't care.
Yeah.
Just bring the effort.
It's a very weird thing going into this game. I don't like what do you even say? I've never ever 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 actually tipped against the Swans. I will not be doing it in this game because that's just not how I roll. I don't
Maybe you
care if I
should
lose
because
the
it'll be
point.
it'll be the
I'm
one
gonna
time
lose
that you
I'm
lose
gonna
the
drop
point.
now I'm gonna drop the point. It's fine. I'm happy to do it. But I'm gonna say if we get within even if we get within 6 goals,
Yeah.
I will be happy. I just want to see the same team that showed up last week. That's basically all I'm asking for.
Interesting to see how we go in the stadium despite it being a wind-sodden thing. But anyway.
Yeah, we haven't really played in tough conditions yet, so that's another thing to take into consideration. We've been pretty blessed with conditions, but let's do some tipping, Alex.
All right, let's have a look at last week. So, still three-way tie-up on the top. Greg on the Goldie, Big Phil, and Britty 93 all on 46. Madriz separated themselves into fourth on 45. And then you got Deebs and GT at Henson on 44. Mads will not be last after last week, if anything's to go by. He tipped 8 on the weekend to go up to 32. He's 2 off.
He's still
second
last.
Polly and I are somehow equal.
Yeah, I dropped a couple this week.
Yeah.
Saints and Geelong.
Yeah, Geelong getting rolled and Port getting rolled. All right, let's get into these games this weekend. I was going to go to this game and then I saw it was at Frankston on Thursday
Yeah,
night.
no.
7:15. The war criminal Hawthorn Hawks, who have not kicked more than 6 goals all season, are 5-1, are playing the Fremantle Dockers, who have found a ground to train at this week. By the way,
I think that's this the third week in a row with Melbourne. That's crazy.
second week in a row. They flew in late last week, Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, they played.
I thought that they had played someone the pre. Yeah, okay. I don't know how they can keep getting away with it, but I don't see how they lose. Like they
Yeah.
just you got to go Hawthorn. And
7:50
it's probably going to be by 4 points or something stupid.
Yeah. If that forward line clicks, they are good. 7:15 at Icon Park Friday night. I might go to this. This will be fun. The D's take on the Bomb Rays. The D's. God, they look
Yeah,
good.
D's look good. D's are a good team. Oh, no, we do play them. Never mind. I was about to say, I'm glad we
Yeah.
don't play them, but we do.
Saturday, 1:05 at Henson. The other team that plays at Henson take on St Kilda. St Kilda.
Saints. I might go. Might go. Oh, I know it's before the Swans are playing. I'm not
Yeah,
going
we
to
play
that.
3:05.
Yeah, no.
The Q Clash at People's First. Oh, yeah, this could be bad for the
Brisbane.
Suns. Hope the Gold Coast wear their pink kit again. They were good against Adelaide in the pink kit.
Well, they have to because Brisbane's a clash kit also clashes with
Yeah.
with
Oh.
Gold Coast. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Gold Coast didn't kick a goal last week. Yeah, they're screwed.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be bad.
Alberton Oval 7:15. Port take on the Dogs. The Dogs smoked Collingwood last week.
They looked really good, and I thought Collingwood were looking good, so I'm gonna go the Dogs. Port
me too.
capitulated.
Yeah, Ella Heads, what's doing? Sunday, Icon Park. Adelaide will murder Richmond. Richmond were good in the first half yesterday.
Yes, and I think that was just the girls being like, "When are the boys getting here?"
There's 0-7.
We'll put it on Wednesday.
There's
Yeah,
0-7.
it's crazy. I think that's the one thing you could look at this year and go, no one could have predicted that.
No, like Gold Coast have won a game.
Yeah, GWS have won 2 games.
Yeah. Yeah, geez, there is Dogs and Port's a game of the 2 and 5ers.
Yeah, it should be a good game, but I do think
If
the
Port had
Dogs.
beaten St Kilda on the weekend, I'd be
would
feeling
have been
so much. Oh, that was a good result for us if that happened. Anyway, Geelong and Carlton at Goomba on Sunday, Arvo.
Whew, that's a good game.
I'm going to tip Geelong at home.
I'm gonna go Carlton.
Okay, I'm just going Geelong. Longer break. I went and watched Carlton on Friday night at Icon. They're fun. They're really
fun.
well organised.
Geelong lost to Hawthorn at home. Yes, the umpiring was also terrible, but
Didn't see a minute of it. Was it a birthday dinner?
yeah, I think Carlton have top 4 potential. They are very much the Hawthorn of this year, as in how Hawthorn played last year.
And in a game which will likely see us out of the top 8 by the end of the weekend, West Coast will be beating Collingwood.
Lisa Steen, former Swan, top-up player on the weekend, which means there is a couple in 2 rivalry teams, which I think is very, very fun. That's very, very fun W law. Lisa Steen and Bella Smith, former Swans, both dating.
Is it Bella R. Smith is our Bella Smith, right?
Smith, yes.
This
At
is
Freo.
another Bella Smith.
Yes, Bella R. Smith at Freo, Lisa Steen's at West Coast. They are still dating. I did confirm it, but yeah, that was fun. Little bit of law.
We love W law. Like just giving Carlton and Collingwood the first game of the season is W law worthy.
Yeah, exactly right. But Alex, this has been a very long episode. We covered a lot. We will be commiserating together on Saturday evening, but maybe not. Maybe we'll be like, hey, they played well. We'll see. We'll see how we're feeling. If you are watching the game and anything really dramatic happens and you feel like letting us know, send us a big pipe in. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
We love a little bit of social engagement. And then in a week's time, Alex will be in Sydney and we're going to pump this game up like crazy. So get down to Henson Park for the Carlton game in 2 weeks. Alex will be there. Obviously, I will be there. We will love to see you, but we'll obviously pump that up more next week. But this has been True Bloods, the #1 independent Sydney Swans fan podcast. We're #1 in the hearts. We're #1 on the charts. We're speaking words of wisdom. Up the potty.